What are you afraid of? Spiders? Heights? Public speaking? Or maybe it's the sound of a strange noise in your house when you know you're home alone. Fear. It's a feeling as old as life itself. It makes your heart pound, your palms sweat, and your mind race. We've all felt it. But how much do we really know about this powerful primal emotion? Is it just a feeling, or is it something more? Today we're diving deep into the dark corners of our own minds to uncover the truth. We're going to explore 10 shocking, fascinating, and downright strange facts about fear that will change the way you think about being scared. So turn on the lights, check behind the curtain, and get ready. This is the surprising science of fear. All right, let's jump right in with our first fact. It all starts inside your head. Fact number 1. Your brain has a tiny fear center. Deep inside your brain's temporal lobe, there's a tiny almond-shaped cluster of neurons called the amygdala. Think of it as your brain's own personal alarm system. When you see, hear, or even think of something potentially dangerous, your senses send a signal straight to the amygdala. This little guy doesn't wait around for your conscious brain to make a decision. It acts instantly. It screams, "Danger, danger," and triggers the famous fight or flight response before you even have a chance to process what's happening. This is why you can jump back from a snake-like object on the ground before you even realize it's just a garden hose. Your amygdala is designed for speed, not accuracy. It's a relic of our evolutionary past, when hesitating for even a second could mean the difference between life and death. It would rather be safe than sorry, which is why we sometimes overreact to things that aren't actually a threat. So next time you jump at a loud noise, you can thank your tiny, overcautious amygdala. So our brains are hardwired for fear. But are we born with all our fears? The answer leads us to our next slightly unsettling fact. Fact number 2, fear can be learned and taught. While we are born with a few innate fears, like the fear of falling and loud noises, most of our fears are learned. And one of the most famous and controversial experiments in psychology proved it. Back in 1920, behaviorist John B. Watson conducted an experiment on a 9-month-old baby known as Little Albert. Albert was a calm baby who initially wasn't afraid of white rats. Watson would present the rat to Albert, and as the baby reached for it, Watson would strike a steel bar with a hammer behind Albert's head, creating a terrifyingly loud noise. After doing this repeatedly, little Albert became terrified of the white rat, crying and trying to crawl away whenever he saw it. But it didn't stop there. His fear generalized to other furry objects, a rabbit, a dog, and even a Santa Claus mask. This experiment, while ethically horrifying by today's standards, demonstrated that fear could be conditioned. The good news? If fears can be learned, they can also be unlearned. This is the basis for therapies like exposure therapy, where people are gradually and safely exposed to their fears until the amygdala learns to stop sounding the alarm. Okay, so fear is a powerful psychological force. But can it be physically dangerous? You might be surprised. Fact number 3, you can literally be scared to death. It sounds like something out of a horror movie, but it's a documented medical phenomenon. An extreme scare can trigger such a massive rush of adrenaline that it can cause your heart to stop. This condition is called stress-induced cardiomyopathy, or broken heart syndrome. When your body goes into fight or flight mode, adrenaline floods your system. In a massive dose, this adrenaline can be toxic to the heart muscle, causing it to spasm and stop pumping blood effectively. This is incredibly rare, but it does happen. It's most common in individuals with pre-existing heart conditions, but in extreme circumstances, it could happen to anyone. So when someone jokes, "You scared me to death," they might be closer to the truth than they think. Dying of fear sounds awful. But what about the opposite? Why do some of us actively seek out fear? Fact number 4. Some people enjoy being scared. Have you ever wondered why people pay money to watch horror movies, ride terrifying roller coasters, or go to haunted houses? It seems counterintuitive, right? The secret lies in a cocktail of brain chemicals. When you get scared, your body releases adrenaline and cortisol, the stress hormones. But once your brain realizes the threat isn't real, that the monster is just on a screen or the roller coaster is safely on its tracks, it's flooded with a wave of relief. This relief comes with a rush of dopamine, the feel-good neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. It's a natural high. You get all the physiological arousal of a real threat without any of the actual danger. For some people, this fear high is highly addictive, turning them into adrenaline junkies who are always chasing the next thrill, from a fear high to a fear superpower. Fact number 5. Fear can temporarily make you stronger and faster. Have you ever heard stories of a mother lifting a car to save her child? While lifting an entire car is an exaggeration, the hysterical strength it describes is based in reality. The fight-or-flight response is designed to maximize your chances of survival. When your amygdala sounds the alarm, it tells your adrenal glands to pump out adrenaline. This hormone does incredible things to your body. Your heart rate and blood pressure skyrocket, pumping oxygen-rich blood to your muscles. Your breathing becomes rapid to take in more oxygen. Your liver releases a burst of glucose, sugar, into your bloodstream. For a quick energy surge, your pupils dilate to let in more light, sharpening your vision. Even your blood's ability to clot increases, preparing for potential injury. Essentially, your body turns into a supercharged survival machine. This surge of energy and focus can allow people to perform feats of strength and endurance they would never be able to do under normal circumstances. Fear gives you a temporary superpower. We've talked about fear of things we can see, but what about the things we can't? Fact number 6. The fear of the unknown is one of our deepest fears. What's behind that dark doorway? What was that noise downstairs? The fear of the unknown, sometimes called xenophobia in a broader sense, is a powerful driver of anxiety. Our brains are prediction machines. They constantly try to model the world and figure out what's going to happen next. When we can't predict something, when we face uncertainty, our brains interpret it as a potential danger. This makes perfect evolutionary sense. For our ancestors, an unfamiliar rustle in the bushes could be a predator. An unknown stranger could be an enemy. Being cautious and fearful of the unknown kept them alive. This ancient programming is still with us today, which is why uncertainty, whether in a dark alley or in our careers, can feel so deeply unsettling. Horror movie directors are masters at exploiting this, using suspense and ambiguity to let our own imaginations create the monster. But sometimes fear isn't about the unknown. Sometimes it's about something very specific and very irrational. Fact number 7. There's a phobia for almost everything. We all know about common phobias like arachnophobia, fear of spiders, or acrophobia, fear of heights. But the world of phobias is vast and incredibly strange. A phobia isn't just a simple fear. It's an intense, irrational, and persistent fear of a specific object or situation that is, in reality, of little to no danger. And people can develop phobias for just about anything. For example, there's trypophobia, the fear of clusters of small holes; nomophobia, the fear of being without your mobile phone; globophobia, the fear of balloons; omphallophobia, the fear of belly buttons; pogonophobia, the fear of beards. While these might sound funny to some, for the people who suffer from them, they are a source of genuine terror and anxiety that can seriously impact their lives. Fear seems like a very personal experience. But what if I told you that you could catch it from someone else? Fact number 8. Fear is contagious. You're in a crowd and suddenly one person starts screaming and running. What do? Chances are you'll feel a jolt of panic yourself, even before you know what the danger is. This is because fear is socially contagious. Humans are social creatures, and we've evolved to take cues from one another. When we see fear on someone else's face, a part of our brain called the mirror neuron system activates. These neurons fire in the same way as they would if we were experiencing the emotion ourselves. In other words, seeing fear in others allows us to feel that fear ourselves. This is an incredibly useful survival tool for a social species. It allows for the rapid transmission of a warning through a group. One person spots the lion, their fear spreads like wildfire, and the whole tribe runs for safety. This next one might explain a strange feeling you've had during a scary moment. Fact number 9. Fear can distort your perception of time. Have you ever been in a near-miss car accident or a frightening situation and felt like everything was moving in slow motion? This isn't your imagination. Fear can actually warp your sense of time. Neuroscientist David Eagleman studied this phenomenon by putting people in a terrifying situation, a 150-foot freefall into a net. He had them look at a special watch with flashing numbers, numbers that would flash too fast to read under normal conditions. His theory was that if time truly slowed down, they'd be able to read the numbers. The result? They couldn't. However, when they were asked to estimate how long their fall lasted after the fact, they consistently remembered it as lasting about a third longer than it actually did. The conclusion is that fear doesn't slow down time in the moment. Instead, the highly emotional state causes your amygdala to kick your memory into overdrive. You record a much denser, more detailed memory of the event. When you play that memory back in your mind, it feels like it lasted longer. We've learned that fear can be learned, it can be shared, and it can even kill you. So wouldn't it be better if we could just get rid of it altogether? Fact number 10. You can't be truly fearless, and you wouldn't want to be. A life without fear might sound like a dream, but it would actually be a nightmare. Fear is above all else a survival mechanism. It's the built-in alarm system that protects you from danger. There is a very rare genetic condition called Urbach-Wiethe disease, which can cause a calcification of the amygdala, effectively destroying it. People with this condition do not experience fear. One famous patient, known as SM, has been put in countless terrifying situations. She's been held at gunpoint, handled exotic snakes, and been taken to the world's scariest haunted houses. She feels no fear, but this makes her incredibly vulnerable. She doesn't recognize threatening social cues. She repeatedly puts herself in dangerous situations, and she has to consciously learn to avoid things that the rest of us instinctively know are bad for us. Her case proves that fear, as uncomfortable and unpleasant as it can be, is absolutely essential. It's the guardian that stands between you and a world full of threats. So there you have it. 10 shocking facts that show fear is so much more than just a simple feeling. It's a biological alarm, a learned behavior, a social signal, and a life-saving superpower. It can distort our reality and even stop our hearts. It's a fundamental, inescapable, and absolutely vital part of what makes us human. So the next time you feel that familiar chill run down your spine, take a moment to appreciate it. Fear's just your ancient, powerful, and incredibly complex brain doing what it does best, keeping you alive. What's the strangest thing you're afraid of? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey into the mind, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. Stay curious, stay safe, and thanks for watching.